Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Hi, how are you?
Good. For those who don't know, could you tell us a little bit about what you were doing and why?
Sure. So we're doing the MS bike ride, obviously, and we're raising money and awareness for multiple sclerosis. And we have a very close connection for that, and that's why we're riding. So our dad has 6 sisters, 5 who were diagnosed with MS, and 3 who are living with MS, and we've lost 2 to MS. So it's very close to our hearts, and that's why we ride. So, Sheila, do you want to tell a bit about why we're riding in Loseland?
Yeah, so for the past 6 years, we participated in the MS bike ride from Leduc to Camrose and back again. The last 6 years, we've raised $65,000 for MS research. And typically, we would join 1,500 to 2,000 other riders riding 180 kilometers over 2 days. Last year, because of COVID, it was moved to a virtual ride. And then this year, it's a virtual ride again.
Due to the riding being virtual, we thought we would bring the ride home to Loseland, where our aunts and our dad grew up. They were raised there. We also grew up there and still call it home. If we do this ride, like Sheila and Sasha both said, to raise awareness of the disease and to raise money, so hopefully we can find a cure to end MS.
Can you tell us a little bit about your very first bike ride? How did you prepare for it, and what challenges did you face along the way?
So the first ride, I remember sitting at home. Sasha had come over to visit me for the evening, and I had taken a pamphlet home from work about the MS bike ride. I had asked Sasha about, hey, do you want to join me for this ride? I think it would be really fun. And in my mind, I thought she'd be like, are you crazy? There is no way we're doing this ride. Let's do a walk and raise money instead. But she said yes.
And so the year that Sheila had asked me was a year and a half after our Auntie Nikki had died. We had already lost Auntie Bernice. And so when she asked me, it was like, yeah, let's do something. We have to do something. I mean, raising money and awareness is a great initiative, and the bike ride was a challenge. It was a mental challenge headed into it. So we were, I thought it was an appropriate thing to do. And I honestly was just like, why not? So, and then Trina's first ride was slightly different than ours. So yeah, ours was 2014. The sun was shining. It was such a gorgeous ride. Lots of breaks, and we were done in 4 hours. Anyways, it was a very inspirational ride, but I'll let Trina speak about her first ride.
So 2016, Sasha convinced our cousin Farron to ride with her. And Farron called me and she's like, do this with me, it'll be fun. And Sheila and Sasha had told us stories about how touching it was, how inspiring it was. If you were down and struggling, people were like, come on, you can do it. Not so much in 2016. We started at the start line. It started pouring. We biked into 50-kilometer-per-hour winds the whole way.
Tornado touchdown in Leduc.
There was a tornado. We rode through hail. It was it was not everything Sheila and Sasha promised it would be.
Okay. And I won't lie. So we were underprepared for weather like that. And I'll agree that it wasn't as easy. However, the motivation was still there. The encouraging, every rider, even though you're on different teams, every single person that rides past you is on your side, and it's so encouraging. And then sometimes you'll just be riding along next to a stranger, and then you share a story and they share theirs, and it's so inspirational. So that was still there. It was just a little wetter and a lot colder and a lot longer, like twice the time. It took us twice the time to do it. And the reward when you're done, that was still there. Yeah. Probably times a million.
Yeah. So when we first signed up to do the bike ride, the first thing we actually did was buy bikes. Neither of us even owned bikes to do the ride.
No,
And then
the bikes that we had, I think, were from high school, too small and old. So
yeah. And so we started riding. We rode 5 kilometers a couple of times a week, and then we upped it to 10 kilometers a couple times a week, and then up to 20. There was tons of research looking at bikes, bike seats, how to fuel your body when you're riding for such a long time. Different information about the ride itself. What does it actually entail? Like, what did we get ourselves into in signing up for this? And so then what we found our biggest challenge so far and continuing is finding time to get in on our bikes every week or twice a week or whatever we can do, but actually getting out there to train has been one of the biggest things that we struggle with.
Yeah, and for a new rider, I think that it would be daunting to not have that time. I think because we've done it for many years, we know what we're capable of, and how hard we can push ourselves, and how achievable it is. Like you really can get there. Like if you just put your mind to it, you can get there. So it is challenging to find that time for sure. And this year, I think I've done 2 training rides so far, and I'm a month out. So that's not quite training rides. Those are more just like, so I'm ready to make my calendar though and get down into training. And we got 1 month. We got this, guys. We're going to get this done.
This year training has been a challenge though, because it's either been so darn hot or the winds are so ridiculous that you can't ride into 50 to 70 kilometer per hour winds and call it a training ride. You're just spin.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can.
I don't want to ride into 50 to 70 kilometer per hour winds.
Like, oh, it's too hot. No, it's not, no training today. Yeah.
In all of the years that you've been riding, what has the biggest obstacle that you've faced?
So I think we just a little bit touched on it, mostly time and mental. Like it's interesting to know how far you can push yourselves. Like Sasha just said, we know how far we can push ourselves and what our bodies can do. But when you get in your head and you're riding for hours on end, it's so easy to get into your head and not give yourselves the confidence that you need to carry on with it. So I think that our biggest challenge is overcoming ourselves mentally.
Yeah, I think that's most riders' challenge, especially like that's why. So, and every year it's a new challenge. So it's not like because we've done it, we don't experience those challenges anymore. Every year it seems that, different people in our team have different challenges at different times, but thankfully our entire team isn't experiencing the same challenge at the same time. So we're able to get each other through those just with the little bits of encouragement, or sometimes we're like, come in behind me so that I can buck the wind for a bit. We got this together. Or I don't know, someone going up the hill and, shift down, you can do this, like as you're passing them or as they're passing you, like it's just the encouragement. It always seems to be at the right time.
It's a huge mental struggle, but it is a physical struggle too. Your body starts almost shutting down. Fingers go numb, toes go numb. Your butt hurts so bad that you almost cry just sitting down on the seat at the beginning of the second day.
Day 2.
Every year I have issues with my hip. It seizes up.
We team stretch. We pull over on the side of the road, and whatever teammate needs a little extra support with their stretching, we definitely learned a lot about each other and how we each need to help each other stretch along the road to get us to the next check stop. That's always kind of what you're looking at. We just need to go, 13 more kilometers, or maybe it's 20, but it's, just from here to there. And yeah, definitely a lot of mental. So, and physical training, you're right. It's like on the years that I don't train much, I don't do it without regret. Like if I happen to go into the ride without many training rides, definitely, we feel it. The more you do get to train, the better you feel on your ride, but it's not like you can't do it. And I think in the back of our minds, we always just know that we'll recover. Like we will hurt, yep, and it's not always enjoyable, but you know, a few days and you're feeling okay.
Whereas our ants, they don't recover. They have that numbness all the time.
And they don't know when it's going to come or why it's going to come. It just shows up like one day. Getting out of bed isn't really an option for some. But the next day it might be. Spontaneously unpredictable. And for us, this is like the bike ride is fairly predictable. Like we know what the routine's going to be. We know the recovery's going to be there, and we're going to be fine.
And personally, I would never have made the ride. I wouldn't have finished any of the rides without my sisters.
If you guys had to pick one favorite memory from your rides, what would it be?
So there is like so many wonderful memories over the years. I think every single year there's new memories that are created, new relationships that are formed or built on. But one of my strongest, most impactful memories or favorite memories is our very first year. Sasha and I were standing at the start line, standing there with our bikes surrounded by thousands of other riders. The MS spokesperson was there talking. There was people, tons of music playing, and there was just the energy. Like you could just feel it. Everyone there was there for one cause, and it was just such a positive and what a good feeling that just being there.
Mm-hmm. Definitely, and I like it every year, and I mean the first year definitely it sticks in your memory, but every year when they do have the Leduc to Camrose ride, and we'll have to think of something special that we can do as a part of our ride, slightly different. So the Leduc to Camrose ride, there are those riding who do have MS, and maybe we'll end up with some riding with us who have MS. I'm not sure as of yet if that will happen, but anyways, and at the ride, and actually even so you go to the supper and your spouse can join you for supper and such, and so they have a moment during the program where they invite all of those who have MS to join. They always have the spokesperson who does have MS, and she rides it, and so she invites all of her peers who have MS to come and stand with her. And they always say, when they bring everyone up, they say, "We are in your corner." Obviously, it's a touching memory. You'd have to be there. I swear.
So I agree. Every year I think I have a new favorite memory. 2016, my first ride, it was actually finishing after the ride we had.
That ride.
Crossing the finish line with my sisters and my cousin was amazing. 2019, our cousin Nate rode with us. His mom passed away when he was 16 from MS or complications due to MS. That year also, our parents met us the first day at lunch. They were there at the finish line when we crossed the finish line on day 2. It was so emotional. It's amazing. This year, it's going to be emotional and amazing again with our aunts who we ride for at the finish line, at the start line cheering us off, our dad riding with us. It's going to be huge, full of memories again.
These are happy tears.
Could you tell me what it means to bring your bike ride back to your hometown?
Yeah, Trina touched on it a tiny bit, being there with our aunts. So that it means a lot. I mean, Luke's Flat is home.
Like we could literally ride anywhere. So it only makes sense to ride in the place that we grew up. Our aunties grew up there as well. And it just seems like the most fitting place to do this. And I mean, you can see it's such an emotional topic for us, but it's going to be an amazing time sharing that with all of our friends and our family from home, and our aunts, friends, and families who still live there.
Yeah, the community is really pulling together. And my dad has joined our team a week and a day ago, and he's already raised almost $1,500. A lot of that is just outpouring of support from our community and family and friends from the area. So it's an opportunity. It's the first opportunity that we've had to really engage our home community and all the people who know and grew up with our aunts.
And being a shorter ride, it's not as daunting for people to join. Even our kids my kids probably not, but they're girls, they will join us for part of it, which is huge for them too. Sasha's girls have wanted to do it for several years, but 180 kilometers on a highway is not necessarily the most safe and feasible option for a now 13-year-old. But
yeah, I'm quite excited for my kids to get to do a portion of the ride with me. I'm going to give them one of my old jerseys so that they can feel really special and cross the finish line with us.
All right, well, thank you guys so much for joining me today and sharing your story.
Thank you for having us.